you want to start presenting? Hi, welcome to this Open Security Summit in May 2021. And in this session, we're going to see Georgina present some really cool workflows that we use every day at Glasswall on our management of our projects. And we're going to share a lot of the learnings, a lot of the techniques that we use with these kind of two tools, which is basically GitHub and then with Zenhub. And again, feel free to ask any questions and they'll take it from there. Georgina.
Thank you, Denise. Okay, so let me start by, can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can see it. Okay.
Okay, great. So yeah, Denise did in the introduction, we use this tool basically every day for all the tasks and all the projects that we are managing. And we really think that the integration works pretty cool. And we still have some features to implement and some areas that we need to improve, but in general, we think that it works pretty well. So I will go first explaining what we do on each of these tools and then how we integrate them. And just as a general overview, this is more or less what we follow in Glasswall. So we follow a DevOps practice. That means that the developer operations and QA teams are involved in the project since the beginning of them. And so it is very important for us that everyone is aligned on the task that each team is doing and the goals of each teams. And also we follow Kanban method in the board that we have. We have some kind of customizations on what works for us. And the moment what I'm going to show you is for 4 main products, and the projects vary from 6 to 8 projects, active projects. And the people that we have is 25 people. So just a background on the kind of organization board that I'm going to share. And the reason that we use GitHub, of course, is because it is an amazing tool. It works pretty well. We use it mainly to manage the code and for version control, all the repository management. We have, I think, 3 or 4 active different organizations. We have many public repositories. We have some of them private. And regarding project management, apart of assigning the task, we do some additional configurations from GitHub. For example, adding the priorities, adding the labels, making sure that the issues are in the correct repositories, because for one project, we not only use one repository, we use different. We don't have a defined quantity, but as needed, depending on the project, we can use probably 1 or 3 or 5 different repositories for the same project. And also we make sure that for all the projects that everyone is working on, when they send the tickets to QA or to review, they attach the PR, which is very important because you have that history on where they work it, what was the code that was modified and everything. So these are the normal tasks that GitHub allows. And also it allows you to create issues on templates. I haven't used this feature, but I found that it exists recently. So probably I will take a look to that. So just as a summary, we are not saying that GitHub is not amazing. It is amazing, but we think that for the project management part, it is a little bit basic. And this is, and here is where it enters Zenhub. And the reason that we use Zenhub is because it's super easy to use. It's super easy to use, and personally what I like is that you have everything in one place. I'm going to show you how it looks. It's just one tab that you can add, that it is added. It's an add-on that you can add in your browser, and inside the GitHub page, you're going to have everything together. And for me, the main feature or my favorite feature is the creation of workspaces. That is, it basically integrates a set of repositories into one view. So probably this, I think, is better if I go to my board. So this is GitHub, and as you can see, we have this Zenhub tab. This is because we have this add-on integrated here. And this is the board that I use all the day, all days to manage the 6 or 8 projects and the 4 products and the 25 people. What I like from here is that I don't have to go to any other place because I have everything that I need here. I have the 16 repositories that I need at this moment. Some of them are in one organization, other are in other organizations, so that doesn't matter. And Zenhub helped me to integrate all of this in one view. So for me, it's pretty cool because I can, let's say, I can filter by person. I'm going to person by him, and I can know exactly on what he's working on, and I can see based on these little tags here, the projects that he is working. So I know that he's not working just in one project, he's more working in more than one. And all that is because of the features that Zenhub has. And probably the main features that we use all the time is the creation of these workspaces and the configuration. So regarding the configuration that you can do, it has different levels of configuration. So let me quickly go to Zenhub. So this is just the Zenhub app directly where you can call your workspaces. I prefer to use it from here, but I think that I have found that some of the options are not, I cannot recall why I needed this one. I think something was missing directly from GitHub that I ended up also using this from time to time, but not always. So what can we do from here? A part of the creation of the workspaces, and the workspaces probably for other managers is better to have different workspaces. So I could have, let's say that I have 6 active projects. I could have 6 different workspaces and to have only the repositories by project and only the people by project. But because of the way that we work, that the people is assigned more than one, and also the projects are very connected to each other, for me, it doesn't make sense. I prefer to have just one workspace. So what I wanted to show you is that you can have different organizations. So the ones that we use the most is this one, File Trust and KA. So I can create any of my organizations and bring the repositories from all the organizations that I want. Probably one feature that I feel that it is missing is that kind of separation of projects, because once that I have my workspace, I don't have a way to separate by project, and I do this by milestone that I know is not the purpose of the feature, because the milestone feature is to define milestones, and I use it to split by projects. So at this moment, this is the way that I can filter if I only want to see the task for my Cloud SDK project, or if I only want to see the task for the compliant Kubernetes project, and so on. But I think I kind of understand the reason behind this, because I think that most of the people is using different workspaces by project. But I already explained why that doesn't work for me. Any questions, any comments so far? So let me go back to the presentation just to remind me on what else I wanted to share here. So these are the main features that Zenhub provides that GitHub doesn't have. So one is the workspace that we just talked about it. It allows you to do some road mapping. So you can go to here and create some projects and add some roadmaps here. I haven't used this feature that much, but I think that I will give it a try to see how it works. Also is the creation of epics. I think that everyone knows about the epics, and if not, it's a way to group one main goal or milestone and to map into one issue and kind of a parent-child issues configuration. We also have used this in some of the projects, and you can also do these filters, like filter only hide the epics or show a specific epic or so on. And I don't think this is something that GitHub has. Once that you have one of the issues created, just for example, this one, you can add some dependencies. And I think that this feature is also provided by Zenhub. Reporting that we are going to see in few minutes, and also the creation of the milestones. And so some of these features that we see here on this right-hand side, so the sprints is configuration of Zenhub. We don't use it because we don't follow Scrum, but it has some pretty cool automation on sprints. So basically you can define if your sprints are 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and they are automatically created. I play a little bit with this feature. That is why I have some here created, but we really don't use them. And the milestones also, and you can also, this is something that we also want to start using more, the estimates. So I think they can be also configured. These are with points, but I think this can be also configured to have days and the epics and the releases. So for me, it's like it allows you to manage the projects in any method or methodology that you are following. If you are following Scrum, or if you are following just based on releases, or it gives you really different options. So from here, for example, you can create a milestone or create a release or an epic or an issue. And I think that option is also here, yes. So yeah, this is basically the view that we use the most. For me, the best way to organize is once that I have my filter by project. Let's say I'm going to select this one, Cloud SDK. My second filter will be on priorities. That is the way that I use the most. So I know exactly what are the priority ones and the priority twos, who is working on what. We use the backlog as the next, usually in the backlog, everything will be already assigned and it should have a priority. And the new issues are the ones that we want to probably review after we clean the in progress and we clean the backlog. This configuration of the columns is the same one that GitHub provides. So basically you can rename to everything you want, and you can add as many as you need. For us, we like to keep it simple. Use the new issues, the backlog, what is in progress, and review QA. And we have here a process. The ones that they are in review, we put it for release. And once that we merge the code to main and tag the release, we move them to close. But that is more the process that we like to follow. Let me go back to here. So I think that we already talked about it. So for us, the way to see the milestones are just like, as I say, like my monthly project views. I really would love to have a feature here to kind of filter by projects. And I was thinking to submit that to Zenhub and see if they are planning to put something like that, because I can imagine that most of the managers that are managing more than one product, they will not have to have different workspaces, because you switching between workspaces, I don't think that it is useful. Or just giving different links to the developers and to the teams, I don't think that is that really useful. I mean, they shouldn't care to go into different links all the time just to see the tasks that they have assigned. And we already talked about it, about the sprints, that this is just an extra configuration, but we are not using it at this moment, but I find that it is pretty cool. And the other feature that I like from here is the reports. So we just started taking a look to also to the reports. The burn down and the velocity are available only if you follow sprints. So the ones that I have been taking a look to my projects here are the cumulative flow and the control chart. And this one is pretty cool because it really helped me to understand what is going on with the project. So I can see that at the beginning of May, we didn't have many new issues. We didn't create many new issues because we were kind of defining at the end of April and the first day of May, the priorities for the month. But I can see that after the initial days, we started creating more and more issues, and we have that probably we are on the top of new issues at this moment because we just revise all the priority and define all the new features that we want to implement in the project and everything. So this totally makes sense to me. And for example, I was seeing also that the in progress, we are kind of keeping the in progress very balanced. And I think that this is because the amount of people that we have in the team is pretty similar. So usually we don't want that one person has many issues in progress assigned. We want that they keep focus on a couple of projects or a couple of issues, so depending of the priorities, of course, and of course, not all the time we can accomplish that. Sometimes they have more than expected, but I think that this also makes sense. And we also started adding this for release. I think it was last week. So that is why it was on 0, and then it started moving a little bit last week. So for me, this is a pretty cool view. I think that we will get some useful information from here. And of course, you can filter by dates and you can filter by repository, which is also great because probably if I go deep, I will find other kind of information if I filter by just some of the repositories. And another one that I was taking a look is this one. In fact, I put the filter only for this month to see how everything was moving. And let me use the previous filter that I had, that I think it was this one. So from here, what I like from here is that you can see the rolling average. So for me, this is something that we need to review, right? Because I don't think, okay, your median is almost 8 days, but for the last 11 issues, it has been a rolling from new issue to closed 14 days. So this is 2 weeks. For me, it sounds like a lot, and probably we are creating tasks that are very general or that include many subtasks that we are not considering. So I think that is something interesting to review with the team and see how they are seeing the tasks assigned, because probably if we want, because we are talking about weekly releases for projects, and probably we want to split a little bit more the tasks before they are assigned, and to start seeing some progress and some work before 8 days, that is the median. And I think those are the main features that I wanted to show you. Do you have any questions, any comments? Okay, let me just review if I didn't miss anything from the presentation. Yeah, so I think that looking at the features that we saw, as I mentioned, and based on the information that Zenhub give me, for me, some of the improvements that we need to do as a team, one is the estimations, and probably is totally related to also the reason that why in average it is taking 14 days. And probably we have something there in the process that we need to improve to reduce that time, or to be more specific, and also to improve our estimations.
But also, hello, great stuff. And also some of the visualization on the releases, right?
This one is just if you create a release, like you tag a release. We did this in the past. That is why it has some history. So if you create a release here, but this is a little bit different to what we do, because we do the work and then tag the release in GitHub, right?
Yeah.
Like, and this
but
is
that's
more
like Kanban, right? Kanban is a lot like that, right? You release at a certain point.
Exactly.
You release whatever's ready.
And this one is, okay, I'm planning the next release to be finished in 1 week or 2 weeks. A little bit like milestones, again, or releases, or you can say my release number X will be next week or in 2 weeks. And after that, you can have this visualization, but I think that is just the history of what happened, and yeah, and how the things move it. But I think that if we start looking a little bit more into this two, the cumulative and the control, I think also we will get some very useful information.
Cool. Now this makes a massive difference. You know, we have a lot of control over what's happening, what we've been working on, and the teams know exactly what they're working on, which is really great.
Yes.
Cool. Any questions, comments? All right, I think is that the end of presentation, Georgina?
Yes, that is everything that I had to share.
Cool.
It is a very simple and useful tool, so there is nothing much to
No,
share.
brilliant. And all this is open source, right? So again, if anyone wants to contribute, they can.
Yes, exactly.
Cool. All right, so let's end like this. I'll just stop the recording, and we'll take it